So hey guys, I thought it'd be really fun to do a donut today. I'm always constantly doing sketches to try to figure out what are we going to draw next. And this is what we drew last time. If you haven't seen this video, this is how to draw a cupcake with a cherry on top and a candle, and maybe it's a good birthday card, right? All right, so let's get started on our donuts. I decided it would be fun. Let's do 3 different donuts and then decorate them differently. I'm going to use a pencil. Always have to have a eraser around. It could be any kind of pencil. I am using marker paper because we are using markers to draw and illustrate our donut. I'm going to trace around it. So that'll be one donut. And then I'm going to do another donut up here. And then another donut over here. Just like that. And I thought it'd be fun to decorate each one of them completely different. Now you get to choose how you're going to decorate yours. I kind of have already gone through and had some ideas. I did some sketches and try to figure out, I think I want one that's a chocolate donut with caramel and drizzles on top. Like I said, I'm going to do a pink donut, and I thought I'd do a chocolate, a regular donut with chocolate icing, and sometimes sprinkles are lines and sometimes sprinkles are little dots. So the way we're going to start out is I'm going to freehand and put circle in the middle of each one of these. Now, if you're a donut maker and if you've ever baked anything, donuts aren't perfectly round. They may have bumps in them and stuff like that because it's just cake, and that's how it rises in the oven. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to put the icing on it. Now icing, when you put the icing on it and you're dribbling the icing on it, it usually just dribbles off the side. So I'm just going to do this wavy line so it just looks like, you know, the icing is kind of dribbled off the side of the donut. In fact, I want more icing on here. So I'm going to dribble some extra on there, and I'm going to make that line a little bit smaller. And the other thing about this is you want to keep all of your lines erased. And so if this is dribbling off the side, I'm going to put it up here so you can see this. If it's dribbling off the side, you're not going to see the donut behind the icing right here. So I'm going to go in and erase these lines that I've just created. So I'm going to go in here and erase it just like that. Just kind of give us basic what this is going to look like. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing here. We're going to go around and do a curved line for the icing on our cupcake. We're going to do the same thing over here. And your curved line can be different on every single cupcake. Just like that. We're going to go in, erase some of the pencil lines so we're not confused when we're coloring what's supposed to be icing and what's supposed to be cake. And finish that off. Do that. Cleaning up the pencil lines just a little. Here. And there. Don't miss another video. Subscribe today. All right. So the next thing is, I don't know where I want to start. Let's start with the chocolate. It's going to be a chocolate icing with a regular cake donut, and then I'm going to do those round dots. Now I've kind of already decided I think I want my round dots to be these 3 colors. So basically I'm just going to get my pen and I'm going to do round dots, and those are the sprinkles that are on my donut as a decoration. And we're going to do this first before we do the background, which is going to be chocolate icing. All right. And you do a random You just put them on there randomly. You're going to do the same thing with the yellow. Like that. And then I'm going to go in with the purple. Oh no, I was going to do green. And then I'm going to go in with the green and add green. And you want to choose colors that are pretty light or bright, because remember the icing that's going to be on this one is going to be dark chocolate. So you want these sprinkles to really pop off the dark chocolate icing. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am testing to see if this is the color I want my cake to be. I think this is what I want to use. I thought I had a different brown, but oh, maybe this is the brown. Is this the same brown? Okay. I guess it really doesn't matter. They're pretty close. One has a little more red in them. One of them has more brown. I'm just going to use this right here. They're so close, I don't think it matters. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to color just the cake, which is the main donut, not the icing, like that. Feel free to move your paper around so your arm doesn't smear the marker. And we're going to go around here just like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry and start working on a different one. I'm right-handed and I don't want to smear by working on this one and smear what's already on this marker paper. So I'm gonna go to the next one, and you know, I think I'm gonna change my marker, and I'm going to do a different marker for the cake on this one. So I'm going to do the cake first, going in here, and we're going to color in the cake first, this donut cake first, just like that. And then I'm going to spin it around. All right. So once we have that cake done, the cupcake done, we are going to go in, and I've already chosen colors for the sprinkles. Now you can choose whatever colors you want. Is that it? No. So I'm going to do purple, green, and yellow because the icing's going to be pink. And I see that I did not erase this line. So I'm going to carefully erase this line and try not to smear the marker that's already on the marker paper. Okay, so I'm choosing these three colors. Just like when I did our cupcake, I'm choosing colors that are different than the background color. So I'm choosing, and I chose the same ones. I'm doing all this at the same time. You can choose whatever colors you want. You can do red. You could do the same thing here over here. I just thought I'd use purple, something different. And so I'm going to put in my sprinkles with my markers first, just like that. And I'm going to go in with yellow. And remember, when the sprinkles are thrown on, sprinkled on, they go all different directions. So we want to, when we draw, you don't want all your lines going in the same direction. You want some of them to be diagonal, some of them to be up and down. They're going to be all different. Everywhere you put it is going to be something different. So you're going to do a variety. We're going to go in here with the green, put in a couple of horizontal, a couple of vertical, then we'll do some diagonal lines. Maybe we spin it around and do a different diagonal line, just like that. And we want to do a variety, a mixture a balance of color. So I think once I look at this, there's not enough yellow. I'm going to go in and add a couple of more of the yellow sprinkles to our donut. Alright, what I want to do on the last one is I'm going to turn my paper around so I don't get my hand in that wet marker, and I'm going to do something completely different over here. We're not going to do sprinkles. I thought it'd be fun to do like a dribble. And what I mean by that is, I did do a sketch of it. You know how sometimes you have like a chocolate donut and then they have an icing on top that's kind of a caramel color, and then they have like this dribble. They dribble the icing over the top. I thought that would be fun to have for the last one. Something completely different. Okay, so what we're going to do first is I thought we'd do the dribble. And let's see, what I set these aside. I think these are the ones I wanted to use, but I always go over to my paper here and test to make sure that's the color I want, and it is. So what I'm going to do is, it doesn't matter where you start, but we're going to do like this wavy dribble line, like if you're getting icing and you're dribbling it onto your cake. Now, you make sure that you start and stop where the icing is, okay? And I at first didn't press down enough. I think that if you press down a little bit on your marker, then it'll be a little thicker. So we're going to do another one like this that comes around, and we're pressing down so then it's a little bit thicker. And then maybe we do another one here, and then another one there. I think there should be one up there. Now, what I also did was, you can stop right here and not do any more. This is what it's going to look like with your caramel icing and then a chocolate cake. Or you can go in and you can add more lines. And so what I can do is I'm good when I draw this way to that way, when I'm going from left to right. So I'm turning my paper around and I'm going to draw and do crisscross dribbles. And that's what I'm going to do there. I'm going to put one on the end. I'm going to put one in the center. It goes around like that. And then I'm going to put another one in, and I'll put one more. Just like that. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do, we could go ahead and just finish this one off. I am using two different types of markers. These are Crayola brand markers. I also have these alcohol markers. And so I am using the alcohol marker. I'm using the thin tip of it to color the chocolate cake. And the chocolate cake's going to be a lot darker than, you know what I probably should have done, since it's a mark. I'm going to do the background or the caramel color first. This is the caramel color I wanted to use. So this alcohol marker is, I don't know how you pronounce this, but it's Bianyo, and it's 8606 is the color that I'm using for the caramel color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to color right over the top. I hope this doesn't smear. I didn't think about that. I was going to color right over the top of the marks that we already made. And I'm drawing very, very lightly, so then it doesn't smear the marks that I've already made with the caramel, drizzles. That drip and drizzle that we put on there. I'm going around the inside. Just like that. Okay, so there's our caramel, and now we're going to go back with this darker brown, and like I said, I'm using, there's a thick tip and a thin tip. I'm using the thin tip to create this chocolate donut. So we're just going in here and I'm making a chocolate donut just like that. Now another option is to add more of this chocolate donut right here. We can do that if we want or not. I mean, it's up to you. I'm trying to decide if I even want to do that. So an example of what it looks like is this right here, where you see the icing on the top and you see the donut in the middle. So that's an option, and if we're going to do that, you're basically just going to go around the circle, just like that, and make sure that the circle is brown, dark brown. And then if the icing kind of flows over, you're doing the same line on the inside as you did on the outside. Kind of a wavy line, so it looks like the icing is kind of dribbled over the edge. Now, I did right here kind of go over a little, so what I want to do is go back with the marker that I use. I want to make sure this is the one. I think it is. Yep. And I want to go over the edge of this where as you can see, I drew over the edge with my line. It kind of looks funny. So I'm going to go and make sure I go over the edge of that. And if you need to do some extra little touch-ups, there is nothing wrong with a little touch-up here or there. All right. Now we're going to do the pink donut. So, like I said before, I'd already picked out a bunch of colors and tested them here to figure out what color I wanted my donut to be. And I chose this one right here. It's a really bright pink. I thought it's really fun. I am going to use the thick tip. And the key to this is to go around every single one of your sprinkles. You don't want to touch your sprinkles. If you draw over your sprinkles, then they're not going to show up as well. They are going to change colors because you are putting a pink color over the top of yellow or over the top of green. So I'm going around every single one of these sprinkles with my marker. And then going in and filling in the extra white spaces. So I'm slowly going around every single one of those sprinkles that we put on here. Being really careful not to color over the top of them. And yes, this takes a little bit of time. You have to be patient, but oh my gosh, if you're patient and you work really hard to go around each one of these, it will make it look so much better. I'm going to turn my page to be, you know, it's easier if you get to these other ones, if you turn your page And feel free to turn your page anytime you want to. I do that same thing with the canvas when I'm painting on a canvas. Sometimes I just turn the canvas around. Makes it so much easier to paint or create, draw or create whatever it is I'm creating. All right, a pink donut with sprinkles, a caramel donut with a chocolate donut with caramel on top, and now let's do the last one, which is going to be a chocolate donut with sprinkles. And I've already chosen, if this is a chocolate donut, I'm going to use the same marker for the chocolate icing. But I'm going to test it before I get started, make sure this is the one I use. I have all these markers here, I get confused. Alright, so I'm doing the same thing as I did over here. We're going to go around every one of those sprinkles. Because you want to make sure you don't draw over your sprinkles with this dark marker, or your sprinkles are not going to show up at all. They will completely disappear. So we're going to go over every single sprinkle very slowly. All these little dots that we created to decorate this chocolate icing on this donut, right? Alright, so we're going to keep going and going and going and going until we filled in all of this brown icing on our chocolate donut. Or I guess the donut isn't chocolate, the donut is light, just regular a cake donut maybe. Like that. I'm going to turn the page around and keep going. All right. So there's a few extra spaces that are light or white, but what I'm going to do is go back with like my red marker and kind of fill in the extra white spaces. Instead of with brown, I'm going to, I'm going to fill it in with the red marker and the green marker and the yellow marker instead of the brown marker, because there's so much brown. Like that. And the green. All right, so I thought it'd be fun to put like a shadow around the outside, so just to give it a little volume, see if we can make it a little more three-dimensional. So we're going to do that around here, and then around here. Like that. And then I guess I use a darker brown to go around here, maybe over there. I don't know. Kind of show the we need to do like a darker brown, like just around the outside of this, just to give it some sort of, looks like it's three-dimensional. Do the same thing here with a darker, oh, that's almost black. Good grief. I didn't know it was going to be that dark. All right, the last thing we're going to do is just put like a little shadow underneath so they're not like floating on the page. So I'm just going to put just a little bit of shadow, and it's just going to be just on the bottom. Kind of go out a little. You want to kind of make the shadow the kind of the contour of the donut. Like that. So they're not really floating along in this. They look like they're completely floating. So there we go. We're just going to put a little bit of a shadow underneath our donut. A little shadow up here also, like the lights coming down. I think this needs more of a shadow. I hope you enjoyed creating these 3 donuts with markers, and don't forget to check out all the other dessert videos that I have for you, and I'll see you in the next video.